Yeah, well, no, because that's all we did introduce at the beginning, Christina, and then they slowly drifted.
Oh, okay.
So no, you did not do anything wrong. The kids do what they're going to do no matter what.
Got it. All right. Well, that makes me feel a little better.
Yeah. Yep. We did have our kids on, like, I don't know, what do they call it? Like there were, I remember salmon meatballs. I remember like exposing them to fish early, exposing them to like hell, even greens, like like, celery and all the things, even peanut butter.
Yeah.
And now I've got one who will only eat pizza and hot dogs, and
Yeah.
the other was on a diet for like the last 4 or 5 months. He's a self-imposed diet. He didn't
Oh,
like the way he was getting comments at school. And while we teach people, right, that comments don't necessarily reflect who we are, he did
yeah.
still made the choice, and he lost about 10 pounds by only eating
Wow.
turkey and pickle sandwiches on keto bread.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
he's back to pizza and burgers now though, because he did enough good job these days. Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I think our country definitely needs a good revamp on the food situation because it's just not good.
Yeah. Well, that's
Or
a
you
whole
could
other
move out of it,
conversation. What was that, Brian?
or you could just move out of it.
Oh, yeah.
How's the food in Aruba, Brian? There's
Yeah,
a lot of conch fish, right?
well, we got a lot of fish, but it's interesting getting meat at the supermarket, like chicken and beef. It smells like chicken and beef. When I go back to the States, it
Mm,
smells like chlorine and bleach.
got it. Yeah. Yeah. I believe in that. It's it.
Huh?
Say that again, Christina. Oh, I think we're losing her. That's okay. She's driving. She's
Oh,
driving.
okay.
Who can, yeah.
Good morning. Good morning to all of these faces. It's been a while. It's been a few minutes, actually. I'm so happy to see you guys back as we start every week while we're just logging in here, while we're doing some connection. Please type into the chat. Type into the chat something that gave you love, joy, gratitude over the week and weekend. What's one, two, or three things that just made you feel everything that you needed to feel in this life? Could be the smallest thing as just seeing some leaves. I had an amazing weekend. We had a lot of emergencies and fires to put out in the business world this weekend, but I also chose in those moments to look around me and see like the unbelievable changing colors of leaves again, knowing what a complete miracle that is. That's one thing that we have here in the Northeast, Brian, that Aruba might not have. One thing
I
out of 100.
I was actually back in the States. Oh God, I got back here. I don't know. It's all been a blur. In 12 days, I was in 8 different airports. But I
Mm.
was in New England. I did get to see the leaves, and I did freeze my ass off.
Excellent. You got what you needed. You went back.
Yes, as quickly as possible.
Oh, I love that. I love that. George, good morning to you, my friend. It's good to see you. Excellent. How about a check-in from you, George? One up, one down, and a win from the past week.
All right, can you hear me?
Very well. Yes.
Oh, good. One up, one down. One up. The universe has been giving me freebies lately. Little things
Yeah.
like
What do we
my
got?
plumber helped. My plumber helped fix my boiler that somebody probably would have charged me $500. I got it done for a goose egg. And then last night, after working all day on a flip, driving home from North Brookfield, my favorite pizza joint closed at 8 o'clock at night. I went to Jersey Mike's. The guy gave me the sub for free.
Woo!
Just
All right.
little stuff like that. And on the downside, the investor that's working with me on the North Brookfield project, we still haven't really even inked the deal yet, and I'm kind of frustrated about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it. Got it.
So,
These little wins, though, George, right? So these are all the result of you doing the little bit of work, right? In the big pieces of work that you've been doing up until now. These little wins are coming to you anyway, and they're manifesting anyway. And I'm curious, so these investors on this deal here, what's the most frustrating thing that you're going through right now with that?
Okay, so due to my poor choices of loaning someone 30 grand on a two-family and not foreclosing immediately, the deal's got some hair around it. And the investor said he put up the money to take the project through foreclosure and said some other things. And this was like 2 weeks ago. And I said, well, we really need to ink the deal to make sure everything's on the up and up. And, you know, he's got me doing property preservation and protection on the thing, changing locks, cleaning it out so it shows best. But he's ignoring me when I say, hey, dude, we need to get something in writing. I mean, because he wants to get paid to help me. And I'm going to be able to write him a check at closing, excuse me, when someone buys it. But without it in writing, he's got to advance the money to get the thing going, and we're not there yet. And I know he's marketing it. He talked to one of the investors I work for that does stuff out in Worcester County. He's one of them we buy ugly houses guys. And I know this investor A that's helped me call investor B that I work for. So I know he's marketing it, trying to get people to show up at the auction when we finally auction it. But it's just frustrating. We won't put anything in writing yet.
Got it. Okay. What if you think about this situation, right? If you like literally just close your eyes, where in your body do you feel this frustration? Like where in your physical body do you feel that?
I don't know. First thing that comes to mind is my gut.
Yeah. Yeah. You feel anything in your neck?
The only thing I feel in my neck, I'm blaming on my poor mattress. I got a crick in my neck, and it's been there for weeks. But I don't really feel anything in my neck about this particular situation, other than it's the pain.
Yeah. Yeah. Where did that neck pain come from, you said?
I don't know. I think it's the mattress I sleep on. Either that or my carotid artery is so backed up, I'm destined for trouble. I don't want to.
There's something more there than your mattress. And I'm not, this isn't I'm still learning how to do this game, so I'm not going to get into that here, but there's something more that we'd want to get checked out. But where in your gut, when you feel that feeling with these investors, things aren't in writing, there's some trust stuff here, right? There's, yep. And there's, yeah, I mean, I know also a little bit about your story, George, and you know mine, right? Like there's been some trust issues in the past, right? With different people. And do you feel that feeling that you have in your stomach? Do you feel that at all? Like if you close your eyes, like try to remember one of the other times earlier, where you felt that exact same feeling in your body.
No, I got nothing right now, Nick.
Okay. I appreciate you trying.
On a blank.
That's okay. I appreciate you trying, dude. Yeah, this is we have some new people here on the call today too, so it's great to see new people. I wanted to kind of, that wasn't the point of our conversation, but I love that you brought up this frustration because all of us have something, right, in our lives right now that we can look at as the frustration, which it is, but we can also look at this as the potential for our growth and expansion. Because ultimately, when we look around, this was actually part of our talk today, George, so thank you. You led us in perfectly. Ultimately, when we look around, right, the things that trigger us are the things that we dislike or trigger about ourselves. Because ultimately, we're human. So not one of us here is fully enlightened, yet, at least to my knowledge. So I know that when I look around and I feel that anxiety, for me, I get anxiety in my gut as well. I get it in my gut. I get, most of the time, yeah, it's actually right there, right as Michelle would call the solar plexus. And I also feel a lot of stress in my shoulders. I carry that a lot. When we look around, at the world around us and we get triggered by something that someone is or is not doing, like they're not putting this in writing, why are they taking so long, what's going on with this, it triggers something inside of us, right? Like that trust or that control or that stuff that we've had that came from our childhood. We can actually learn to take that feeling, feel it in our bodies, really find out when the first time it was that we felt that feeling. And if we allow ourselves then to truly feel that emotion from that one circumstance, that one experience, the first time we ever had it as a child, it can eliminate the trigger forever. So we've talked about this many times before, right? Being conditioned as kids, as children. And like when we were the first ones to have a big feeling, let's say, like a big anger, a tantrum, or we spoke up against authority as to our parents, right? Or to whatever we did as a kid. And we were then pushed to our room and said, why don't you go handle your feelings and come out when you have a smile on your face, or come out when you're not throwing that tantrum anymore, right? Go to your room. I know a lot of us, there's a few of us here who've had that experience. If you had that experience, please type me into the chat. You know, your parents or someone said, you know, go to your room. You've had that experience, type me. And what that does is, right, that teaches us to suppress those emotions, right? So the emotions are not healthy. Emotions are not okay to be shared. And when that happens, that piece of us, we push that down and we learn, okay, this is what it's, we need to do this to stay safe. We need to push this down to stay safe in our emotions, in our bodies. And that feeling of suppression, that feeling of not being able to express who we are authentically as little kids, that manifests in our bodies in different ways. That manifests with trust and control issues in our solar plexus. It can manifest as sickness and illness in cancer genes. It can manifest in our throats, right, with coughs and not being able to share our thoughts, feelings, or express who we are. And it always manifests, as I've seen, right, with the deep level for the people in our network, right, like some shadow work, right? Where are you not enough? This is for anybody here who wants to play that game. It's uncomfortable to think that way. It's uncomfortable to look at ourselves and ask, where are we not enough? And where is that feeling in our body? And when was the first time we felt that feeling? Maybe some of us have done enough work where we say, I am enough. If I do X, Y, and Z, I've done 3 different things today, therefore I am enough. And that's where the alignment questions come into play. I love that. Brian, you gave me a thumbs up. I love that. This is where the work truly is. What if we've done enough and are enough already? What if we're not broken? What if the anxiety and these panic feelings or these anger feelings or these triggers that we have are just because we're perfectly imperfect humans? And the beautiful part of this is to accept us where we are. That was actually the whole point of this conversation. Wherever you woke up this morning, so it's a lot of us, we do these check-ins, right? What's one up, one down, and one big win, right? This is how we like to connect. I like to know what's happening with you, and I like to share, and this is what we're human. We're all actually having the same experience, but in different perspectives, right? So if we're all connected and if we're all there, if we woke up, some of us woke up with some anxiety, or some of us woke up with some panic, or if some of us woke up with some uncertainty, right? Lack of clarity, lack of guidance. Some of us woke up in perfect bliss. It's all good and it's all perfect. So the question is, what would change in your world if you woke up and whatever it is that you were feeling in that moment, whatever emotion that was, whatever thoughts were going through your head, what if you could just love that piece of you? What if you could love that piece of you that felt a little anxious? Oh, there he is. You know, little David is, you know, coming out of his room again. And oops, we got Andrea, if you don't mind, keep accepting people into the group. That would be great.
Yep,
Little David is feeling himself, and he's back in his room, and he's scared to come out. That's this little feeling of this. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm feeling the anxiety of I have, so many deals coming in, or I have this much money going out, or I'm letting these people down, or these investors down, or I'm not secured and papered up in this transaction, so I don't feel safe. I don't feel like, people think I'm trustworthy, and I certainly can't trust them right now. Like, there's a lot of this around us. What if we could just love that piece of us anyway for who it is, right? And close our eyes and be like, you're safe, you're loved, I love you, I love you. We don't need anybody else externally to love us for who we are. Even clarity and guidance, right? When we seek clarity and guidance, it's beautiful to have mirrors in this group, right? When I get to feel into some of, your challenges, your problems, you guys get to feel into mine with all the stuff that happened with my father in Europe, with all the stuff that's happened in my entire business life over the last 3 or 4 years, right? Like, we're mirrors for each other. And through these mirrors, through seeing each other, through seeing ourselves in Brian and in George and in Andrew and Artem, right? Like, through seeing what we see in you, we can look back at ourselves and say, oh, I see that piece. And can I love that piece? Can I love that piece about myself? It all comes back to that love. I know I just went on a little bit of rant. Any of that, Brian? Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
I'm chomping at the bit here for George. Can I address the gorilla in the room?
Go for it.
George, you're waiting on these people to do paperwork. Flip the script. You do the paperwork, submit it to them, and say, sign it. Put in your own terms, put in your own conditions, put in your own reality, send it to them, say, look, I made your life easy. Just sign this. Because the waiting is killing you. Just get it done.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
I guess it was that simple. Sorry, Brian. Go ahead. Keep going.
No, I'm done. I mean, I say it all the time. How do you get a parking space up front? You drive up front and look for the space. So if you need the paperwork and you're waiting for somebody else to do the paperwork, screw it. Do the paperwork, put in your own terms and conditions, send it. It might not be perfect, but send it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
George,
makes a lot of sense.
Huh?
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Nice, Brian. That reminds me, did you guys ever read Dr. Seuss book, The Places We'll Go? I know it's a long time ago for some of us, long time ago. There is a beautiful 4 pages in the middle of that book and it's the worst place we can possibly be. It's called the waiting place. Waiting for people to come, waiting for people to go, waiting for things to happen, waiting for this, waiting for that. The worst possible place to be in this life is the waiting game. Waiting. And it's like funny, reading that as a kid versus reading it now, right? Has a whole different meaning. But I love that, Brian. And to be fair, how many of us too in this group, I'm just curious, who here is the planner for your group, right? You guys are the ones that set the restaurant and set the date, set the time. You guys are the ones that just make the reservations. You guys are the ones that just get it done. You're the drivers, right? And being the drivers, it's funny because that's who I was too. It's like, okay, no one's gonna make a decision. I'm making the decision. Let's go, right? There's a power to be gained with being that person that takes action first, right? That's awesome, though. George, I love that. And Brian, thank you for sharing. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Artem, it's great to see your face, my friend. Thanks for joining in. Do you want to do a connection? Just one up, one down, and a win from you this past week or weekend.
Sure, let's do it. One big win is I did a little self-development seminar recently and met some really cool, interesting new friends that made me quite uncomfortable in where I am in life and kind of challenged me to push myself to be a little bit more, but at the same time inspired me. Um, the up and down is basically like a good thing or a bad thing that happened.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
One up, one down. Yeah.
Um, one down is that let's see, as stupid as it sounds,
As stupid as it sounds. Look at you already putting judgment on it. Look at that.
all right,
We love you for where you are. That's the topic of today's conversation.
I'm tighter on cash than I would like to be, mainly because I got some credit card payments that are coming up that I used for renovating my last 2 units. So I'm gonna have to get creative on where to get some cash. And one up is also silly as it sounds, weather's beautiful, so I actually get a few more motorcycle riding days this year before the end of the season.
Heck yeah,
I'm
you
actually pretty
do.
pumped.
Yeah, you do. I love that. I love that. So let me ask you this question. This is going, I know this specifically, there's 3 or 4 other people on this call that can benefit from this question, right? The feeling that you get when you just talked about you're down. Oh no, I have credit cards coming up.
Yeah.
Right. So where is that feeling coming from? Like, where do you feel that in your body?
Somewhere around my stomach, probably. Like, oh shit, I have to dip into the savings, or I got to get creative.
Yeah, yeah. And then you're going right to your mind saying, help get me out of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a beautiful thing. You go to right to your mind and you're saying, okay, what do I got to do? I have to create. And I love that you're in the creation mode, right? We had a call last Wednesday in our REI Accelerated community. And it was a beautiful moment because we discussed coming at a place of, holy shit, what I'm doing isn't working now. And because it's not working, I'm running out. Oh my God, what do I do? And it's that part of our brain. This isn't you, Artem. I'm just kind of going back to what I know a lot of people live in their mind, right? Like I did for years and years and years and years. So we go right to the mind and we say, fix this. I don't want to feel this in my body. This feels bad. Fix it, fix it, fix it. And the mind's like, okay, cool. I can come up with all sorts of ways that'll go into what if scenarios as to, what will happen if we run out of cash. It's not trying to sometimes it starts to help like, oh, well, I can sell this or I can do this. But most of the time it's like the feelings are like the fear that's just running through the head.
Yeah.
And the point of Wednesday's call was, right, remember, this is the tool. This is the leader, right? And when we start to reduce and eliminate and we go into the place where like, hey, mind, just take a break for a minute, take a deep breath in. We don't want to start in scarcity. We don't want to start with these negative emotions. We don't want to start with that anxiety spiral that has been always there and it's there to keep us safe. But that's not helping as much as dropping into the vibration and alignment of what if all the cash in the world, being it's just energy, it's just like sunlight, it's just like the air outside. What if all the cash in the world, right, comes to me openly, freely, energetically? I am in a vibrational alignment with the energy of money coming into me over and over and over again at velocity, at speed. And it loves me and I love it. I know how to be a good steward of this money. I am in love with myself, and therefore, because love is also an energy, I can match my vibrations to have it come into me over and over and over again from many different sources. And it's with ease, flow, and fun that it comes in.
Okay.
So as you go through that and your brain starts to go through, well, what I got to do? I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do that. Okay, that's the brain. Remember, that's the tool. This is the leader. So if we start here, we're training the mind to start thinking a little bit differently. Oh, it's everywhere. It's going to come in. And even if, and this is, we do some shadow work on this too, Artem, right? For those that need to hear it. So if your mind can't stop the spiral, that's when we go and take you to the worst case scenario. Not that anyone here is there, but okay, what if you can't pay the credit card bills? What if you stop paying your bills? What if you have to file bankruptcy? What if you lose you can't pay your mortgage payment? Are you homeless? Are you dead? right? Do you not have anybody
I'm
that
not gonna let
cares?
that happen.
No, of course not. Of course not. We're not saying it is, but this is the shadow work. This is what for some people who can't get out of this scarcity loop, right? When they're trying, where we teach them to go to the heart, we teach them to kind of come from a place of abundance and unlimited wealth and everything that comes in from multiple sources. The shadow work here is the opposite. The shadow work here is, well, what happens if everything goes away? You are here in this call with all these people who care about you and love you. Like you're saying that if the worst case scenario, healthcare, all the bullshit that happens, and we all lose everything, do we all not tribe up and like have someone that loves us that will give us shelter, right? Until we can get back on our feet? Do we not all have somebody in our lives, families, friends, or in this tribe that will assist them with opportunities, that will provide, right? Like we're tribal, we're community based, we're humans. So we bring them through that place because the mind is just trying to keep us alive, safe. So, oh, we're
Got it.
still alive. We lose everything and we're still here. We're not dead. All right, shut down, brain. Now we go here.
Got it.
Now you've done your job, and now we can surrender. We live in a place where there's multiple sources of income, multiple sources of energy. All the sunlight, all the love, all the warmth, all the money comes into us freely, openly, with fun, flow, and ease. Everything I do, I radiate wealth, prosperity. People around me love to work with me and to give me their energy of money, knowing that we can multiply it and exponentially grow it together, bringing everyone to the freedom, right? To the freedom of not ever even having to think about this ever again. It's a beautiful thing.
Right.
That's the heart building it. Yeah.
Thank you.
So you're good, man. I love that. And I know you're better than most. I mean, you've been doing the work. So that's just a little tidbit to think on.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Of
Love you, buddy. Thank you for jumping in.
course.
All right.
Back.
So for those of you who have not yet, please post into the chat the things that gave you pride, joy, love, gratitude over the past week or weekend. That's going to be how we start to raise our vibration. If you haven't already done your 10 or 15 minutes meditation or journaling today, remember the top 3 questions to reach into alignment, right? How can I show up better for me today? Number 2, who else do I choose to show up for in a meaningful way? And number 3, before we get into the business, before we get into the priorities, what's one thing I can do today that moves me forward to that which brings me the most excitement or passion in my life? And if we don't know what that is, maybe the first step is just to journal and think about that in a meditation. What's the one thing that would make me the most excitement or give me the most excitement or passion in my life right now? Then we can get into the mind and the priorities and the income generating activities for the day and the connections and all the things that we have to do, because they'll always be there. But reminding all of us that the point of this conversation today, I didn't mean to go on another rant. Next time, Brian, you can interrupt me more. You can all interrupt me more. But the part of what we wanted to go through today for everyone is no matter how you woke up and showed up today, no matter how you were feeling or what was going through your mind or what was happening in your body or can you love who you are today and where you showed up today? All the pieces. Can you love all the pieces? The ones that do feel scared or fearful, the ones that do feel anxious, the one that feels out of control at times. Those are all parts of you. And every single time we accept another version of who we are, even the ones that are uncomfortable, that eliminates the triggers. It starts to eliminate all of the feelings of not being okay. And we start to drop our masks, drop our labels. And that is some beautiful fucking work. So we're already at 9:30. We're going to take a deep breath in. Today, we're going to do a quick little meditation. Sometimes we do affirmations. Today, we're going to do a quick little meditation. So we're going to take a deep breath in. Whoever wants to join me, deep breath in. Deep breath in again. Right now, you're sitting down, or you're driving, or if you're driving, you probably don't want to close your eyes. But you have your eyes closed, and you're thinking of where you were this morning when you woke up. You're thinking of yourself in a bed, in a couch, in a chair, wherever you were. And as you're thinking of yourself, slowly waking up to this beautiful earth, this planet that you're on, this planet that took 13.8 billion years to create, with a mixture of mixing all the stardust and spinning around in circles and gravitational pulls, and we end up here, a biological mess of meat, water, and blood. And you get to have this experience of sensations, this experience of emotions, this experience of pure consciousness, this experience where nothing else matters in your world except remembering who you are and growing and adapting as an imperfect human being. Loving all the pieces of you is the key to this. Feeling as you're feeling in your body, as you're sitting in your chair or laying in your bed, and you realize that there's a big beam of light shooting down, and it hits right on top of your forehead. It's a bright, yellow, warm light. And as it hits your forehead, it starts to go down into your neck. And you start to feel a warmth over your face, a warmth in your neck, as it shoots downward into your chest, into your heart, into your liver, into your stomach. This warm yellow light starts to become warmer and go through all of your little capillaries, your blood vessels. It reaches out into your arms, into your hands. Start to feel a little tingly sensation. Start to feel this warmth as it goes down further into your body, further into your solar plexus, further into your root chakra, into your hips, into your groins, into your legs, your thighs, your knees, your calves, your feet, your toes. This warm, yellowish, whitish light is now beaming through your entire body. You are radiating this light, and you start to really focus on each individual piece of everything that you are. Can you love yourself in this moment? The answer is yes. Do you choose to love yourself? All the pieces of you, from the very bottom of your toes up to every single hair that is or is not on your head. Love you, I love you, I love you, knowing that all the energy, every energy that we all experience in this lifetime, all the warmth, all the light, all the money, all of the air that we breathe, everything radiates from one source, and that source is love. And the most love that we can learn to receive is directly related to how much we learn to love ourselves. As you are thinking of yourself in that bed and you're feeling this warm white light, there starts to be a word that comes to you. This light is bringing you a message. It's one word. And with your eyes closed, you picture this whiteboard, you picture this chalkboard, you picture just a field, and there's a word that appears. This word is just for you. This is a gift. The word doesn't come yet. You can sit with this feeling, sit with this warmth, sit with this light after we close out this meeting, and feel into, what is this message coming to you that's just for you, from your spirit guides, from your higher self, from God, from the source. Knowing that once again, you get to wake up in this earth, you get to choose every single bit of this life that you are living. Today, we choose abundance. Today, we choose love. Today, we choose creation and co-creation. Today, we choose opportunity, and we look at every single struggle even as an opportunity to expand and to grow as an imperfect, perfect human. Every single thing that we do radiates with love, joy, flow, and ease. And we can experience and choose to be childlike in everything that we want to do today. What is one thing that brings me to the most excitement or passion in my life? And how can I let that in my life with more ease, joy, and flow? As we start to end this meditation, we thank the universe, we thank Source, we thank God, we thank ourselves for everything around us, for this warm feelings of white light, for this safety, for this experience on this planet that we get to have, that we built for ourselves, that we chose to go through and experience. But right now, we'll close with a deep breath in and release. Happy Monday, my friends. We can open our eyes, smile, look around, look where we are. Loving where I am, but also wishing I could be in Aruba. I
They
love
have
you all
flights.
so much. What is it, Brian?
They do have direct flights.
I know they do. And JetBlue does Mint now, too. I know. I'm excited. But I love you guys. I know we're way over time today. Post in the WhatsApp chat, post in the Signal chat. We'll put out some dates available. We have some privates and some small groups. We still have our Soul Purpose workshop that's available November 8th and 9th for finding bigger clarity and bigger guidance and what provides you with your true excitement or passion and how to live with your strengths, live with your passions. More on that coming out on the emails. But I love you. I'll see you next Monday, 9 to 9:30.
Thank you, Nick.